Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name's Trevor. Really glad to have you here. In today's video, I just wanted to share with you 10 cheap hidden gem fragrances. So these are all fragrances you can find for under $40 at the discounters. They're all very well received and high ranked on Fragrantica, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of them, so that's why I wanted to share them with you all. So in the number 10 spot, I've got this fragrance here, Oriental Soul from the house of Angel Slusher. Relatively unknown house. I got a few other fragrances from them that I did a first impressions video on about a week ago, I want to say. But this particular fragrance you can get for around $37 on FragranceNet, and it is a splendid, beautiful, classy, upscale rose oud fragrance. Definitely the best rose oud, under $40, a lot better than both of the Frank Olivier rose ouds, and Shagaf oud is pretty good and has that sweet praline, but this has a muskiness to it, so it's a lot fresher than that and a lot more well-rounded and not so rough around the edges. Definitely beautiful, classy, upscale, dressed up sort of fragrance. Really surprised you can get this for under $40, but this is probably the most upscale cheapie that I have in my collection, so highly recommend checking this one out, Oriental Soul from the house of Angel Slusher. So that's the number 10 spot. Number 9 spot is actually a woman's fragrance, but it was released in the 70s, and I think the scent profile is a lot more masculine in terms of today's market, and it's just called Patchouli from the house of Reminiscence. So this is, as I said, a woman's fragrance, and you can get it on discounters. I think FragranceNet has it for right around $35. Just a really nice, beautiful, sort of wet, earthy patchouli. Like I said, it's a self-titled fragrance, or like it's just mainly patchouli, but it smells very gourmandish in some sense. It's like earthy and damp, wet patchouli, but it smells a little bit like chocolate cake. Something really nice and sweet, and a little bit dark as well, and earthy, dark, sweet, earthy chocolate cake. That's what you're getting here in this one. Really elegant, beautiful. Looking forward to wearing this more as we're transitioning between the fall into the winter. Check it out, $35 on FragranceNet. Patchouli by Reminiscence. Alright, number 9 spot is that, and then number 8 spot, I'm gonna go with this one here, which is actually the fragrance I'm wearing right now, and that is Coop from the house of Cadillac. So this is a car brand fragrance. I think this one in particular is discontinued, but both on eBay and FragranceNet you can find testers of this with a cap. I actually bought this one as a tester from FragranceNet, but FragranceNet and eBay both have these for around $35. This is a beautiful, pleasant hidden gem. It smells like a cross between Prada Luna Rosa Black and CK1 Shock. So this is, it's got that powdery, sort of rubbery, balsamic, earthy scent profile that Prada Luna Rosa Black has, and then it is kind of mingled with that sort of cherry tobacco that you get out of CK1 Shock. Definitely recommend checking this one out. Like I said, it's fragrance I'm wearing right now. Very pleasant and very similar wearing experience that I get from Prada Luna Rosa Black. So if you wanted to get that fragrance on a budget or for a low cost, definitely check out Coop by Cadillac. Alright, that is the 10, 9, 8 spot. 7 spot. This one you can get for $36 from Scented Monkey on eBay. They bumped the price of this one up during the summertime because it's sort of a spring-summertime fragrance. I prefer wearing this on summer nights and hot spring days because it's a little cloying in the high heat. But that is Carven Low Intense, and this is actually one of the perfumers that worked on this fragrance is Francis Kurkdjian, which is the current in-house perfumer at Dior. And so this has got, it's almost like a almost like toothpaste. Like the mint in here is really strong, so it's a little bit divisive in that sense. But there's also some really beautiful lavender and ginger in here, and the ginger really makes it pop and is like super effervescent and very reminiscent of almost like a Sprite or a Sierra Mist, that sort of soda with a very clean, fresh mint and lavender that almost feels a bit like toothpaste, but in the most clean, crisp, and refreshing way. So that is Carbon Low Intense for the number 7 spot. Alright, number 6 spot, we have Dunhill Edition. So this one you can actually get, I think, for under $20 right now if you go to the perfume spot. Otherwise, it's well under $30 at the other discounters. Pretty good dent in this one. One of my favorite springtime cheapies. It is a really nice sort of evergreen, not quite minty, but like just like an evergreen, coniferous sort of fragrance. It's like a little bit powdery almost. Yeah, like a lot of fir, balsam fir, and like some nutmeg in the top that kind of gives it this fresh, spicy, a little bit festive, really great all the way from the spring, or from fall through winter and spring. Like I said, I wear this mostly in the spring, but it's great. Kind of gives you that Christmas tree vibe and like a little bit of a festive accent with the nutmeg in here. And then there's also some bright citruses in this as well that really make it quite versatile. Longevity on this one's only about like 4 to 5 hours, so it's the only marks I have against it. But beautiful, beautiful, forgotten about fragrance from the house of Dunhill. That's Dunhill Edition. Okay, so number 5 spot. This one I've spoken about a few times on the channel. I learned about from Sebastian at the Perfume Guy channel. And this is Black Steel from the house of Victorinox. You can get this for under $20 at Fragrance X right now. This is, it's got an almond note, so it's like a little bit creamy and nutty, and then there's also some leather in here as well. It almost smells like Dolce & Gabbana's The One if you took out the tobacco and replaced it with leather. That's what you get here. So it's a little bit coniferous. It's got some pine, some almond, and some leather that are going to be the main notes in here. About 6 hours longevity. But beautiful, beautiful hidden gem, well worth the $20 that you can get it for at discounters. Even probably $30 I would be happy paying for this one. And Daphne Bugay was the perfumer behind this one as well, so you've got somebody with a lot of experience and quite a few high-profile fragrances under the belt behind this fragrance. So that is the number 5 spot, Black Steel from the house of Victorinox. Number 4 spot, this is another one I've spoken about quite a few times on the channel. This is going to be Poker Face from Ted Lapidus. La Nuit de l'Homme with Iris is what you get with this one. I think they sold out of this at Fragrance X now. You used to be able to get it for like $22 there, but I think the next best place is Amazon, and you can get it for like $28 from there. And the seller from the listing I saw on Amazon is actually Amazon itself. So Amazon.com is distributing this one. Beautiful, amazing. Can't believe that you can get this good of an iris for this cheap of a price. La Nuit de l'Homme, date night, pleasant, powdery sort of sweet iris over the top of that DNA. Don't miss out on this one. One of my favorites in my top 10 cheap fall fragrances. Poker Face, Ted Lapidus. Alright, the number 3 spot. This is, I learned about this one from Jeremy Fragrance. He mentioned it in a video of his. I think the brand 4711, I think it's like German. I could be wrong about that, but he brought this one to my attention, and I've seen it mentioned a few times on maybe 1 or 2 other channels, but I don't see it mentioned in lists all that often. But this is one of my, I actually have a backup bottle of this one, and I love this fragrance. It's like one of my probably top 10 fragrances in my entire collection. That is Awakening Woods of Scandinavia from the Aqua de Colonia Intense line. So this, it's like a 5.7 ounce, which is like 170 milliliters, I think. And you can get this for like $35 on Joma Shop right now. And generally, it's about that price if you can find it at any of the other discounters. I think Fragrance X has it sometimes. Fragrance Net charges like $60 for it, so don't get this there. And then FragranceBuy.ca has stocked this as well. So this is Geza Schoen is the perfumer behind this one, and if you don't know who Geza Schoen is, he's the guy who launched the Molecule line, like Molecule 01, Molecule 02. He's a perfumer who did those, and he is the one who also did this fragrance, and it's a little bit like Terre d'Hermes, but it's more green, and then it has a really nice sweet rose note that runs through the middle of it. So you think a little bit of like a Terre d'Hermes DNA with some added balsam fir, and then take out the orange and replace it with bergamot and rose, and that's what you get here. Really, I get quite a bit of longevity out of this one as well, probably like 6+ hours, even though it becomes a skin scent at about 3. Amazing fragrance, very refreshing and easily wearable year-round. The like balsam fir in here accents the fall and winter really nicely and gives you that sort of green mountain forests with like dusted snow kind of vibes, but then the citrusy accents in here make it really quite nice, refreshing, and wearable in the high heat. So that is number 3 spot, Awakening Woods of Scandinavia from Aqua de Colonia Intense. Number 2 spot, I've also spoken about this one quite a bit on the channel. You can get it for under $17 on Fragrance X and for about $30 at Saks Off 5th, which is where I originally found this one at. The designer house, I think, has ended the production of fragrances, so you can't get this on their official website, so I think it's discontinued. But pick them up while you can. It's going to be Robert Talbot for men, just like self-titled Robert Talbot, if you can read that there, and then it's got a nice little emblem there. This, again, is another Terre d'Hermes inspired fragrance, but this one is more dedicated or loyal to the actual scent profile of Terre d'Hermes, whereas this one has quite a bit of additional nuance and differences between the original. But this one takes the Terre d'Hermes DNA and then gets rid of the dirty orange and replaces it with like a really bright citrus that kind of is a bit reminiscent of the sort of citruses you get in John Bravado's Artisan Pure. Again, this is about 3 to 6 hours longevity on this one, but really good compliment getter. I've gotten better reactions off this than actual Terre d'Hermes, and thoroughly enjoy wearing this. It's like super refreshing and woody and just a pleasure. I haven't gotten a backup bottle of this yet, but I plan on doing so, especially because it is available for under $20 right now. So if you haven't already, and if you haven't seen any of my other videos praising this fragrance, go check this one out. Get it from Fragrance X while you can. Robert Talbot for men. And finally, moving on to the number 1 spot, my favorite hidden gem, probably top 5 fragrances in my whole collection. Definitely one of my most complimented. It is Colors Man Black from the house of Benetton. Pretty much almost emptied this bottle. Juice level is pretty low. I do have a backup bottle of this, luckily. So if Fragrance Net has this in stock, they sell it for like $18, anywhere between $13 and $18, depending on how the prices are fluctuating. But you can currently get this for $29 on Amazon.com from a distributor, Perfumes Andrea. But this is an amazing lavender, nutmeg, vanilla oud fragrance. Incredibly like festive and dark, but also soft and inviting and gentle at the same time. Just incredible fragrance, incredible value for money. My number 1 cheapie hidden gem. Check this one out. Colors Man Black from the house of Benetton. I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.